Welcome Miracles Tribe members and members of our Miracles Attraction community on Facebook. I'm Theresa McGallicher and I'm here today with my partner, Carlie Hardy, and we are joined by an amazing guest for you. Her name is Lisa Natoli, and she's coming to us from Maine. This is another edition of our series on people whose lives have been positively transformed by their practice of A Course in Miracles. Carlie?
Thank you, Theresa, and welcome, Lisa.
Thank you so much. I love you two so much. I'm so grateful that you're in the world. I love the work you're doing. It's so needed, really, just that you've created community for people and a place for people to really see how practical and simple transformation can be. So I'm really just thrilled by the both of you and honored to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. And we feel the same way. You have been such a great teacher for both of us. And I often tell people, sometimes the Course in Miracles can be overwhelming and vast, and you need a good guide. And that's what you have been for us. It's such a good guide. So a little bit more about our guest today, Lisa. Lisa Natoli is a teacher of A Course in Miracles. Theresa and I can both attest to that, a great teacher. She's the creator of the 40-day program for transformation, which is totally free. And that's a beautiful place to start as an entry point to the Course in Miracles. She's also the founder of the Healing Cure, an 8-week online training program to strengthen and develop your ability to heal by staying connected to the power and light within you, or the truth of who you really are. Her website is at www.lisanatoli.com, and that will be below, and we'll kind of talk about other offerings after. But at this point, go ahead and tell us your story with A Course in Miracles, Lisa.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been 30 years. I found A Course in Miracles back in 1992. And I guess the thing I want to just express to anyone listening is when I look over the major things that have happened to me, alcoholism being healed and cured, an incurable autoimmune condition, symptoms completely gone, completely pain-free now. I have money now. I went so many years just with all of these problems, all of these issues, all of these things I was trying to heal. And that's, I think, why a lot of people come into A Course in Miracles. We want a miracle. We want a life that's happy or happier, or, we want to feel in peace. We want to feel joy. And for years, I was in my head trying to figure it out. And like you said, Carlie, sometimes A Course in Miracles seems very heavy. It can seem very religious also. It's got Christian terminology. It's a lot of words. It's a big book. I mean, look at this crazy thing. And it's little, like the words are like, there's not big text either. So it's kind of like, I know the difficulty for me was trying to get it. Like I was living in a headspace, just really, and it was completely devoted, 100% commitment, really thinking I was doing what it said to do. And my problems were not going away. And when I looked at like all those 3 areas that I just mentioned, alcoholism, an autoimmune condition, and major debt, and no money, and no job, and no matter what I tried to do on a physical level, I could not change those things. I tried for 5 years to quit drinking. I mean, 5 years of absolute not wanting to drink. It's been 20 years now. I have zero desire for alcohol. It just literally, the desire to drink just floated away. And for 5 years prior to that, I tried everything, pouring vodka down the drain, making these huge, declarations, I'm done. I was smoking cigarettes at the time. I'd break the cigarettes up and I would stay sober for weeks and sometimes months. but I was always efforting. It was always a struggle. It was always like, I'm doing this. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking. I'm doing this. That's the problem. And the same thing when I had the autoimmune condition, same thing. It was like 6 or 7 years of like, I'm going to cure this thing. I'm going to heal this thing. I'm going to make it happen. That's the body, and you're fighting, you're efforting, you're trying to do. Same with the money. Like I'm going to manifest money. I'm going to heal my thoughts about lack. I'm going to do it. Nothing worked. So when I looked at like, okay, what actually is the formula, quote unquote, for how change happens? It really is a surrender. It is a place where you really come into rest, relaxation, stillness. So when the alcoholism, I actually will never say that I healed alcoholism, and I never healed sickness, and I never healed pain. It just disappeared. It just floated away because I came into a place of absolute acceptance. And with the alcohol, I'll use that example, was like, oh well, I guess I'm just going to grow old and be an old drunk. Like after 5 years of hating on myself, telling myself I'm a loser, I'm a failure, I can't do it, I can't, I just couldn't quit drinking. 5 years. And finally, and it's funny, when you're in the middle of something, you can't really see what you're doing. But in hindsight, I could see it was a decision to start to love myself. That's the cure. That's what A Course in Miracles is about, is that you start to welcome all experience. So I started to just welcome, like, okay, I'm just going to be okay with being a drinker. I'm going to be okay with that. And I'm not going to try to quit anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. Just if I'm going to have a drink, I'm just going to like be in total happiness about it. And within a very short period of time, like maybe like within a month, it just disappeared. I've not wanted to drink in 20 years. I've worked in bed and breakfasts where I serve it. I've been around it. I've been in bars. I've been everywhere. And the same thing with the autoimmune condition. It was a moment where I said, I'm going to welcome this pain and all these physical symptoms. I'm not going to hide anymore. I'm going to love everything that's happening as it's happening. And I'm just, and I actually was, at the time, every day I thought I'm dying. I mean, I was in so much pain and just really trying to make the pain go away and make the symptoms go away. And it was my husband, Bill Free, who really gave me the thing that changed my life, to welcome it. He said, Lisa, what if these physical symptoms never go away? Can you welcome it? And that was really like the whole place where the whole thing shifted, where I thought, I'm not a sick person anymore. Like, no way. I am not going to show up as a sick person and as a victim, as I'm not going to fight anymore. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to blame myself for having sickness, which a lot of spiritual people do. I caused my sickness. And I'm going to love myself. I'm just going to love where I'm at. And slowly the pain started disappearing. The symptoms got less and less until they just disappeared. And I don't know how it happened, but it was like, and that's the thing. You have to want to know who your true self is above all else, to really say, this is my top priority, that I'm going to make it my commitment to know myself as eternal, changeless, one with my brother, one with everyone. And I guess I just want to say for everyone who's listening that there really is no order of difficulty in miracles. There really is no order of difficulty in healing. And the paradox is, you have to not want healing. I don't even know how to teach it really. I don't even know how to teach it in a way that's understandable, but that's, and I know Theresa and Carlie, you both teach prosperity, and that was another big place for me too, is really just to say, okay, I'm done being a person in lack. I'm done waiting for later to be alive and to be generous. I started being generous in the place where I was with no money and debt. That was how I turned it around. You start to embody the thing you want to be without waiting for the physical to change first. That's the key, is that you it's all done in the mind. You don't have to have money in your bank account. You don't have to have the body physically vibrant for your mind to be physically vibrant, for your mind to be abundant and prosperous. And then you live from that place. And then, of course, we know that the world we think we see is reflecting the minds and the thoughts we hold in it. So that's been my story. And then from here, it's just, there's nothing to do really, it's just like, you just kind of do whatever's in front of you, the next thing to do. And yeah.
Lisa, I love what you shared, and you left out that you also quit smoking, right? At the same time that you quit drinking, that desire also left you?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
You're no longer a smoker also, correct?
No, I quit smoking at the same exact time with the drinking. And what was interesting about that is that I didn't even know I quit drinking and smoking until months later. So it was a funny thing, because before that, I would make the declaration, I'm done drinking, I'm done smoking. And I always had it in my mind, I quit drinking, I quit smoking. But when it floated away, I didn't even really realize that change had occurred until a little while later. It was months later. I saw actually a letter of somebody who was in rehab. He was writing on this note that was on a desk that I saw, and I was like, oh, I haven't had a drink. How long has it been since I've had a drink? I didn't even like realize. And it was the same thing with the money. It was the same thing with sickness, is that by the time, and that's why the miracle is immediate, because maybe the physical form isn't immediate, but in your mind it is. In your mind, you're healed. And you start showing up in a new way. And it's like years ago, I went to Brittany, France with a friend of mine. We went on this hike for a week. Every day we'd hike like 15 miles, and we stayed in bed and breakfasts, in each next town. And in France, their wine is their pride and glory. It's like, grow it. It's how they show love. And they would serve it every meal in these bed and breakfasts every night for dinner, and they would try to guilt trip me. It was weird. I was like, you have to, the guests were telling me, you have to drink the wine. It's really a sign of disrespect to not drink the wine. They grew it. I was like, no, thank you. Like and that was the thing that was healed too, is people pleasing. I used to just think, oh, I'll just have a sip. But it's like all of these old patterns literally disappear. And it's just like, and you do everything with kindness, so it was really like Jesus in the Bible, says you will be transformed and resurrected. And the old self dies away, and the new self, which is the light, comes forth. And so it really is a Course in Miracles.
Well, we're really grateful that you were able to share your story with us. I know both Carlie and I have been so inspired by the examples that you have set, and we've had miracles as a result of seeing your miracles. And we just hope that this video is another chain in the miracle process and reaches out to all of our communities. So thank you again for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much. Again, I love the work you two are doing. I think it's important to have people that we can look to. That's how it was for me when I was starting out, and for years and years, people who had done the work already, and they were really embodying it and living it. And I saw, oh, if they can do it, it must be possible. And I think that that's a gift that you two bring, is that you really are embodying this message and living it. It's not headspace anymore for either of you. It's your life, and you're sharing it.
Thank you. And can you share a little bit about your programs for our listeners?
Yeah, so there's the 40-day program for transformation. That's totally free. And like Carlie said, I think that's the best place to start. It's a real activation for a lot of people who maybe are new to A Course in Miracles. I make it super simple. It's the one thing I hear over and over, is just, I want people to have results. That's really what I'm all about. I want people to just take something as a practice and be able to apply it and see that it works. And then out of that was born the Healing Cure, which is an 8-week online training program for true healing. And that's available at my website, lisanatoli.com. And the final thing I have, I'm actually doing a brand new, I've never done it before. It's a live and interactive Zoom event. It's a Zoom retreat on Sunday, July 25th from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And that sign-up's on my website also, lisanatoli.com.
Wonderful. Well, we're so grateful that you could grace us with your presence today. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. I love you.
I'm also here to say that Healing Cure is beautiful too. After you finish the 40-day, that's a beautiful, beautiful course for anyone who wants to take a deep dive.
Thank you so much. I love how, Carlie, you always call it the holiness cure.
The holiness cure. It is. And that was so important for me, Lisa. Thank you so much, to return to the knowledge that my holiness